Right from the beginning, I knew that it was going to be incredibly divisive in our community.
We are a part of a diverse, beautiful, integrated community, and it has been fractured, and it is sad, sad, sad.
Because apparently when BDS comes into these communities, they just divide people up in all sorts of ways, and then they leave, and then the community is stuck with having to somehow heal, and it's been, we can't heal yet.
It's very frightening and painful. I don't know how to, I haven't achieved peace in my heart over this.
The hurt of what might have for some people seemed like a 2 or 3 month process is going to take years to heal for people to put this behind them.
It wasn't just a boycott, it was buying into an agenda, a biased agenda at that. So the co-op actually took sides. They're not for peace, they're for this whole BDS biased agenda. And that's what the Davis co-op in California, see, when they turned it down, they took the time to put together a 3-page statement about why and how they deciphered it. And they said by buying into their agenda, you're basically accepting what they say as truth, when at best it's just a manipulation or a certain segment of fact.
If progressives who are behind wanting to enact these boycotts could just look deeper into the whole language of these proposed boycotts, they would see that there is something underlying that is not just a plain boycott.
BDS is not about a 2-stage solution. BDS is not about peace and reconciliation. BDS is about this, like this. They want basically to delegitimize the state of Israel. It has nothing to do with the 3 products in the store.
You're not really working with the people on the ground where they are. You're taking your American ideas and saying this is how you should live, this is how you should rule your country, and this is how you should defend or not defend yourself. And I think that we have no idea of what it's like there, actually.
And you can't put everything at the doorstep of Israel because Hamas is involved. And if they really want to help the Palestinian people, all these BDS guys should be rising up against Hamas. Because what's Hamas all about? No freedom of speech, no freedom of assembly, no freedom of the press in Gaza. None of these things exist. It has nothing whatsoever to do with Israel.
I believe that a better way is to invest in the thing you want to promote. So, for example, if you wanted to promote the economy of Gaza, find a cooperative women working and invest in them. If you want to, have peace where Israelis and Palestinians are working together, invest in an organization or in a group or a farm that is working together. So making positive investments instead of shutting the doors and excluding and demonizing.
So everything about BDS is negative. Nothing about it is reaching out a hand in let's work it out. They were opposed to this peace process that started in early September.
The hurt of what might have for some people seemed like a 2 or 3 month process is going to take years to heal for people to put this behind them. And then the question always is, well, what next? And what else do we have to be prepared for? So there's a heightened anxiety and I think a hypervigilance that is created from this that was not there before.
Please, other communities, look at what's going on here and learn a lesson from us in Olympia, and don't let it happen in other communities, because apparently when BDS comes into these communities, they just divide people up in all sorts of ways, and then they leave, and then the community is stuck with having to somehow heal, and it's been, we can't heal yet.
BDS was over there in Europe celebrating their victory, and we're stuck with the shit.
It's very frightening and painful. I don't know how to, I mean, I haven't achieved peace in my heart over this.
Well, I think that the best way that we could heal our community is to understand that we are fractious and that we have different ideas. We cannot solve international politics in Olympia. None of us vote for any representatives of the Knesset. None of us are really representative in Gaza government.
So we are going to try in many different ways to spread the word about how it's destroyed the fabric of our community. And it's bled over into any different organizations, because this is a small town. There's a lot of overlap. The Film Society, some of the cafes, the co-op, the building, and all of this stuff. It's just amazing that I've been pushed aside as a Jew in this town because of the BDS. It's a very, very dark organization that has no interest in anything that has to do with a two-state solution. What was the hurry that you had to make a decision that night with absolutely nobody involved except for those 40 to 50 BDS folks that just suddenly showed up?
And we were stunned. And apparently a press release had been sent out by the co-op board to the international community, and it was picked up in many newspapers. And so it was online to other people before it even came to our community.
I have been involved with the co-op for a very long time. I'm usually ubiquitous in the office, counting out drawers and performing my volunteer activities. I had never heard anything intimating that there was any discussion of a boycott of Israeli products or of the Israeli government.
They had a small meeting with people present who were into vilifying Israel, and those are the people who put pressure on this board to pass it.
So BDS, it turns out, is a very, very dark organization, which the board had no clue. They had no clue about the language of the resolution. It even says in the board minutes, they signed off on the resolution to boycott Israeli products, and the next thing they did was they asked for clarification of the language of the boycott that they just signed. Unbelievable, unheard of. They signed something and then they said, hey, by the way, what did we just sign? Clarify it for us.
This community has been fractured. This community has been broken. It has been because of some irresponsible decisions made, and I won't go into that. But it's broken. People will not come in the door. People that I love, people that I have taken their money, that I have watched their children grow. I have watched them have a life in our city. And here we are with such a terrible division, and it's really hurt the community.
I know some people want to say, oh, it's Israeli products, it's not Jewish products. That is a distinction that cannot be made given the history of the Jewish people. And so for me, it felt threatening.
I was shocked to see how little people were thinking about the consequence and how little people were thinking about how does it make a Jewish person feel to select just one country out of many.
The folks that are behind the boycott are saying we're not anti-Semitic. As a matter of fact, many of us are Jews ourselves. The problem is that there has always been anti-Semitism in the world, and there probably always will be anti-Semitism in the world. But what this does is it gives license to people who are not completely balanced. It gives them license to express anti-Semitic thoughts, which then lead to anti-Semitic actions.
To come into a community and start targeting Israeli products for the Jewish community feels like you are targeting Jewish businessmen. And that feels threatening. It is threatening. And it is creating a climate in our community that is anti-Semitic.
I really don't think it's comfortable for Jews to live in the city of Olympia and be outwardly expressive Jews. You know, you can be a closet Jew and that's fine, but I just don't feel comfortable discussing my religion or my beliefs in a mixed group environment anymore.
So by bringing this BDS movement into all of these small communities around the United States through our local food co-ops, it creates a climate of fear and terror for Jews.
We've been quiet, you know, we haven't made waves, we've just tried to be, you know, self-contained. And when the boycott happened, it blew the lid off of what was being held in this volcano. And all that anger and rage and vitriol and frustration and hurt has just been coming spewing out since the July 15th boycott decision.
And we know that in our area, not our immediate area, but in an area south of here, which is Olympia, that there is a very high percentage of hate groups located in that area. I am not Jewish by religion or ethnicity. I am a Native American. And so it concerns me greatly that the BDS movement sends a message to these people that it is okay to come out of the closet and to actually publicly and quite aggressively go after Jews in their communities.
For me to be called all sorts of names by others in our community and even have friendships broken over my questioning of, is this the best and most productive way for us to get what we want, which is peace in the Middle East, it has been very hurtful because friendships have been broken.
We had an annual meeting a little over a week ago, and during the candidate speeches, the behavior was just unconscionable. There were a large number of folks jeering and saying unpleasant things to speakers, and that never happened in our experience here in this community before. We have friends and acquaintances from the co-op that we find ourselves on the opposite side of picket lines from, and that we don't have conversations with anymore because this has really split our community.
For me, my very dear friend of 35 years is the lead person pro-boycott, and she is continually writing letters now to the paper, and it's very devastating. We were so close, her child was born in my house. That's how close we are.
And now I have people that I won't see anymore because they won't come in, because they're angry and they're upset and they're disenfranchised. And I won't see them again, and I won't be able to give them these beautiful groceries. That's the most wonderful part of my life, is I give these beautiful groceries to these wonderful people, and we give them all kinds of possibilities for them to be able to pay for those groceries. Whether it's volunteerism, whether it's our purple cards, whether it's our blue cards. We are a part of a diverse, beautiful, integrated community, and it has been fractured. And it is sad, sad, sad that I have to go. I'm going to go there in a few minutes and I'm going to see the people that I'm going to see. And they're so important to me. But the ones that I've lost, the ones that aren't there anymore, they're the ones that I mourn for.
And people throughout the whole community are completely divided. And the staff is still stressed out. There's a lot of people that don't shop at the co-op right now. There's a lot of people upset.
So it's just amazing that individuals can look beyond long-term relationships and throw them away in regard to short-term issues.
So what happened in this community is people felt like they had to fall on one side of the fence or the other.
The damage that this boycott proposal has done to us as a family is not over.